So, there we were, a group of friends, gathered in my tiny apartment for our usual Saturday shenanigans. The plan was simple, a meatball eating contest. This was supposed to be a low-key, friendly competition, nothing too crazy. Mark, our resident foodie, was the first to accept the challenge with a gleam in his eye that suggested he had been waiting for this moment his whole life. As the kitchen timer started ticking, we lined up our plates filled with enough meatballs to make an Italian grandma weep with pride. Everything seemed perfectly normal, or so we thought. About halfway through the contest, Mark suddenly paused, his fork suspended in mid-air. He squinted suspiciously at one particularly large meatball on his plate. "Guys, do you hear that?" he asked, as if expecting the meatball to respond. We exchanged confused glances, assuming he was just trying to psych us out. But Mark, being the curious soul he is, decided to investigate further. He picked up the meatball, and to our utter disbelief, a small trapdoor swung open at the bottom of it. Beneath the meatball, a tiny staircase spiraled downwards into the unknown depths of my apartment floor. Unable to resist the allure of the mysterious meatball portal, we all squeezed ourselves through the tiny trapdoor and descended into what could only be described as a bizarre underground world dedicated entirely to meatballs. As it turned out, we had stumbled upon the headquarters of the infamous Meatball Mafia, a secret society that controlled the underground meatball market. The mob boss, a man who introduced himself as the Big Meat, seemed none too pleased with our intrusion. With a flick of his wrist, his henchmen surrounded us, their expressions as serious as a meatball on a mission. Just when it seemed like we were about to become the main course in a very strange meatball-themed story, Mark, in a stroke of genius or desperation, offered them a side of marinara diplomacy. He proposed a truce, a taste test of his homemade marinara sauce, claiming it was the perfect complement to their meatballs. The Big Meat agreed, and as they sampled Mark's sauce, their stern faces melted into smiles. Impressed by the flavor, they decided to let us go. As we climbed back up the staircase to safety, Mark turned to us and quipped, "Guess they couldn't resist my sauce, looks like we sauced our way out of that one."